honor to fight shoulder to shoulder with the Temerians. They say that the Temerians are fighting for us, but this is completely false.
Thus spoke the leader of the Gnome state.
These theories arise from antinomicism. Antinomicism is very bad, very bad. The antinomicism has grown to alarming levels in Temerian society, and I just can't understand why. I mean, gnomes are great, great people, great neighbors. It's true, I love the gnomes. Thank you very much, Your Majesty. If you allow me, I would like to say a few words in Gnomish. Sure. Lihud, Allahud, Habadu Shalom. It is a very beautiful language. I love the Gnomish language, quite old, traditional. Honestly, I think that the King of Temeria could adopt the Gnomish language in the near future. Appreciate it, Your Majesty. Now, we have to talk about Aden. In just 2 weeks of war, we completely decimated the Aden army. They got completely obliterated and destroyed by the incredible Temerian and Gnomish combined forces. It's time for them to be smart and come to the table to negotiate, because if we had to strike again, we would do even harder than we did previously. They got no infantry, no heavy cavalry, no artillery, no castles whatsoever. They were completely obliterated and destroyed. Your Majesty, please! Answer me, Your Majesty! You?
Your Majesty, there are a lot of concerns about this war, such as the case of civilian massacres in the villages. There are already more than 42 settlements in Upper Aden reporting violence, and some are already considering to call it genocide.
Well, look, war is always hard. People die all the time, but we attack with such precision, led by people of such competence, that we are achieving all of our goals in Aden. And actually, we have achieved a civilian casualty rate at its lowest, which is incredible. Your Majesty, please answer me, Your Majesty. You?
Your Majesty, the Patriarch of the Eternal Fire warned with concern what he called an unjust war.
Well, look, I like the Patriarch. I think he's a cool guy. But you gotta understand that I cannot allow them events, evil regime. And by the way, we're talking about here an evil, tyrannical regime, of which killed by the last 15 years its own population by the thousands. And no one during all those years had the courage to stand against. And by the way, there was a witch in Vangerberg. Her name was Yennefer, horrible person. And turns out she was married to a witcher named Geralt, also a horrible person. And turns out that they together were developing a magic of mass destruction for them event. Can you believe that? Magic of mass destruction. The Patriarch gotta understand that cannot allow that to happen. Those crazy bastards would blow the Gnome state out of existence. They would kill millions of people, and I cannot allow that to happen. Your Majesty, please! Answer me, please! You. Where are you from?
I'm Redonian journalist.
Ooh, I don't like Britannia. We beat them so hard in the last war that I think they still hate us. Everything that they have left is making ridiculous, fake news about us. But I think they should be grateful, let me tell you. We could have taken Traralgon, Novigrad, Oxenford, and all those beautiful villages and cities across the Pontar, but we didn't, because we like peace. We are peace lovers.
Your Majesty, the Patriarch also expressed concerns about the massacre of Nova Dalina, where 230 Adanian civilians were brutally killed by Temerian soldiers.
Well, look, it is always very sad when civilians die. But actually, civilians are more safe when we have bombing them. Because when we stop the attacks, the Demavan regime becomes bolder. And about the victims, they have to understand that we're doing this for the families so that their relatives can have a better future and more prosperous. And by the way, when we finish here, we'll see nothing less than a fantastic era for the Far East. Thanks a lot, everyone.
Your Majesty, please! Answer me,
Here today,
please, Your Majesty!
Gnome leader of the Gnome state in the Far East. The journalist began. Gnome leader, you Gnomes enjoyed action with King of Temeria. Started a war in the Far East. The war is proving difficult to win, while at the same time sabotaging the continental economy infrastructure. Considering these aspects, was there really a need to attack Adan?
Certainly, the fanatic regime of Demavan has been planning for years the destruction of the Gnome state and Temeria. Look, they call you Big Satan, and us Gnomes the Little Satan. And I spoke with His Majesty King Fautist about blocking any possibility of Demavan regime having a magic of mass destruction. I said that many times this can let that happen. It would put the entire Far East in danger.
Do you understand that so far the regime has shown no sign of backing down in the face of Fortis attacks and threats?
Well, that feels completely false. The anti-Gnomish propagandists spread many lies about this war because they're jealous of our relationship with King Fautist. But the cracks in the regime are already quite visible. The mass destruction magic program was wiped out thanks to our good cooperation with the Temerian army. For 3 days, we maintained control over Fingenberg, something that we had been thinking about just a few years ago. And many within the regime are already rebelling against Demavan.
Does Fortis agree with this readiness for war?
Well,
The Gnome leader smiled, showing his white teeth.
let's just say that Your Majesty King Fautist understands very well the words that I'm saying.
Gnome leader, regarding the accusations of elf genocide on the border with the Gnome state, data and reports from reporters on the ground claim that there is a disparity of rights between Gnomes and elves in the Guillemot forest, which could even be classified as discrimination. Gnome leader, more reports indicate that there is a systematic abuse by the Gnomes, which is in many cases escalates to mass decapitations of elves in the Guillemot forest. Here's a piece of data from CDD News that says that since the beginning of the war, the Gnome Defense Forces have dropped so many bombs on the elven homes that in some areas there are no trees left at all.
We don't have any issues with the elves. Actually, many of them already have gnome citizenship. They can move freely throughout the gnome state. Our real problem is with the Scoia'tael. The Scoia'tael are a group of terrorists with full intensity. They were planning to massacre at the northern defense post of GDF, so we act preventively to avoid any catastrophe. When you see they fire arrows and ballistae at territory at all time. Would you like to live next to a neighbor like that?
Asked the Gnome leader to the journalist.
No, well, yeah, we Gnomes didn't either. All these theories and lies come from antinomicism. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Antinomicism has been growing at alarming levels in Temerian society, and I just can't understand why. I mean, gnomes are great, great people, great neighbors. We urgently need to fight this unpleasant element and support our actions in the Far East. Very nice, Dad. I didn't get that info from the Secret Service. Is that right, Marco?
Unfortunately, yes, Your Majesty.
Well, it's really bad when we lose soldiers. But it so happens that I still have 30,000 men in my army. And actually, I sent over 2,000 to the Far East.
But Your Majesty, the Kingdom of Temeria has nothing to gain in the Far East.
Demavend's regime got crushed. Actually, when I ordered that special forces strike to destroy Edenian factories, we saved the Far East because let me tell you, if Demavend had got their hands on a magic of mass destruction, there wouldn't be a gnome state left in the Far East. In fact, those lunatics have killed millions of people.
Your Majesty, both you and the leader of the Gnome state keep hammering on the same point. That Demavend and his fanatical regime would soon have a magic of mass destruction. But Your Majesty, can either you or the Gnomes prove actually this story?
Why are you doing this?
What do you mean, Your Majesty? Doing what?
Being a completely idiot?
Why are you insulting me, Your Majesty?
Because you're nothing but a pathetic little clown. That's why. In just 2 weeks of war, we completely obliterated Demavend's evil regime capabilities waging war. During this war, we killed so few civilians, which is incredible. And we dismantled the regime, only for you to come along spreading this horrible fake news.
Your Majesty, that there is a lack of evidence.
Then listen to your evidence. 3 or 4 months ago, the Secret Service informed me that there was a witch in the Wegenberg named Yennefer, a detestable person, who was married to a witcher named Geralt, also a horrible person. And they together were secretly developing magic of mass destruction for Demavend. I couldn't allow those crazy bastards to have a magic of mass destruction. They would blow the gnome state out of existence, and I cannot allow that to happen.
Your Majesty, about your relationship with Emir Varin Reis, Emperor of Nilfgaard.
Emir respects me. And let me tell you, he only fears Temeria because we had the most capable and lethal force on the continent. No other military force on Earth could reach the numbers we did against Demavend's tyrannical regime. Again, killing so few civilians. What we did in Eden was incredible, unprecedented in history, and Emir acknowledged that. Something you from this pathetic media are not able to do. He agrees that Demavend evil regime cannot have a magic of mass destruction, and that we, in joint action with the Gnome state, are acting for peace in the Far East.
Your Majesty, last year, the Nilfgaardian Empire launched a large-scale invasion against the Kingdom of Sintra. And during this war, they ended up killing King Ragnar. At this very moment we are speaking, Nilfgaard controls 80% of the country and is besieging the city of Sintra. At the same time, Your Majesty approved a decree relieving Nilfgaard from sanction on manufactured goods. There are suspicions that Your Majesty being friendly with Emir Varin Reis.
Well, look, Emir respects me a lot. He invaded Sintra because they are ruled by a woman. He fears us. No one has been worse to Nilfgaard than me, no king. I'm the only one who gave the swords forged in Mahakan to the Sintrans, and you can see that the Nilfgaardans haven't advanced as much. By the way, if I hadn't given the swords forged in Mahakan to the Sintrans, the war would have been last 2 weeks, maybe less, as was the Damavan regime. And me respect us a lot. He would never invade the north, he would never cruise, he would never cross the Yaruga.
Your Majesty, we have here a report of a local beekeeper from the village of Carcano. He had something to tell you through the Black Mirror.
Your Majesty, I have a family with 3 children, and the oldest is serving in the army in the Far East. However, the times are tough, with the rising prices of wagons, with the destruction of the lumber mills in the Far East that produce the wagons. There's also inflation that keeps rising.
Is there any way, Your Majesty, to change something to lower the price of wagons?
So, Your Majesty,
Well, if we can handle slightly higher prices for about 2 months because of a war, pretty justifiable reasons, you are ridiculous. You shouldn't even run a business. I call that the invisible hand of the market acting to kick your ass. But I will see what I can do for you.
Your Majesty, you can't say that to a subject.
And why not? I am the king of Temeria, damn it. Without the devils, I say whatever I want.
Without due respect, Your Majesty, but you started this ridiculous war with Adern to favor your known friends, and you're still going to disrespect your subjects.
I'm not have to listen to this. I live in this interview.